What's up? So, since yesterday, I think I did stream the drawing I was doing, which was not this, but it was actually, let me just group this and just say final. I was, I had done this drawing yesterday, which I'm gonna just export as an image to save for later. Let's call it check drawing. A second option. So it was like basically this guy here, and so initial idea, which I had some references for that I found on Pinterest. Then was thinking I'd do something like this, and then did some work last night, trying to my best to copy that idea, but it was like mixing too many different angles. Like this first half here. Okay, sorry, I gotta switch to this to my camera. So, my reference was my sketch was this, which was based on some references I found on Pinterest. Then I moved to this drawing, which is like supposed to be more combining, applying those. It was just like taking the references I found on Pinterest and trying to figure out a way to show like how a computer is connected to a brain-computer interface, and then the brain-computer interface, when you think about something in your visual cortex, it produces a sequence. And if that sequence can be translated into zeros and ones or bits, then that becomes a pattern. And by all of the objects, like I tried to deconstruct like a 3D virtual world into like 5 different parts, like the meshes, which are like the objects, the props, things like that, the avatars, or the characters, the animals, things like this. Then there's the life. Then there's like the environment. Then there's the atmosphere. Those have a bunch of stuff to go with it. And then there's the lighting. And then it's just, then they all get broken down into different pieces, and then ultimately those are sequences of bits, and you're trying to align the bits. Anyways, this isn't that clear for explaining that. Like, it's a formula that's going back and forth, and this drawing really doesn't show that. And so I thought about that. That's the nice thing about taking a break sometimes and like zooming out, is you can like kind of, this happens all the time for me, where I do something like a drawing and I've gotten better at it over time. It can be frustrating, but you have to really like be critical of your own drawings. And especially I find when you sketch, it's a lot easier to come up with things that make sense, because you're like thinking in your head and drawing at the same time. When you then try to translate it onto the computer, you lose that view quite quickly. So it's important to be critical and like resketch and then blah blah blah. Anyways, so that was the drawing that I came up with last night, and I looked at it this morning, and it was like a base drawing, and I did some sketches on like how to improve it, but I was like, meh. And obviously all these things needed to be filled in. There was more details. But what I switched that to was this node kind of base drawing, which I think graphically looks much cleaner, and I like that. I think this can change and just be like a dotted line. Same with these, because they just extend, but this might have to get scaled a bit larger. But each of these things compose, like, this will be like the mesh node. So it'll be title there, blah, 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 mesh, avatars, characters, blah, 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 blah. Essentially, then there'll be like a head image here, right there will be a scene image, etc. And essentially you can take any scene in my film or in the virtual world, plug it in here, and all of these nodes get populated. And what's happening here is like kind of like algorithm is taking the sequence that's coming from your head and matching it with this aggregation of all the 3D parts. So I think it's a bit clear, like as a graph that looks like this, and just needs some cleaning up now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe a few changes. So yeah, I think what I'll do is go in here and just start adding, like, for instance, we need some like text tests. So like the text box labels are gonna go inside there, and times. Start with something really small, delete it, and you can already just go down here and we can say left and not that. So like I know, for instance, this is the node, like I've got a sketchbook here that I'm looking at, but this is like the brain computer interface, visual cortex. So something like 16, 18, maybe 24. You can get that scaled down. All right, and then center it. And kind of, no, I don't want to move the paper. Oh no. You can just do a redo. So let me just lock some of these layers. Oh, you gotta lock the paper layer too, and unlock the text. Okay, so if that's the case, let's see. I'll save it. Yeah, I've just got this weird word. So I'm just testing now to see when I add something like that, is it visible on a screen? Not really. So it might, no, what we need to do then is by taking this, text, come on. If you can make its thing a bit bigger, if you can go up here and go like 60, 48. Okay, so we save that. Okay, that's definitely much easier to read. So I'm just gonna make some notes here. So all the nodes, the bases have to come down. Basically 3 times. Okay. So just as a test, like what's gonna end up happening is there'll be like place linked. We'll take like there'll be something like this kind of image that'll come in. It'll be sort of like that. It'll have an opacity. And then we'll just take a box and basically draw the box around the border of the image and do that. Then the opacity can come back up. And ultimately this will go below the tech drawing. And maybe we'll end up giving them a little opacity. But that's the idea there. There'll be more text coming into places like geez, we got. Yeah, it's weird that that paper got moved. What paper am I moving? Okay, I guess we can lock these later. Okay, paper. Okay, I don't know. Oh, just okay. You can take this text, and we're gonna have to make it. I guess the paper's on top, so that's screwing with stuff. Okay, we'll just hide this layer for a sec. This will come down to be a bit smaller in font size, probably italic, and it'll be like explaining what's coming here. So this is a signal, or like a, yeah, it's just a signal, I guess. I don't know, there's probably a better term for it. These pieces can be quite small, something like that, and ultimately get centered and maybe comes across a bit. Actually, probably could be a little smaller. Just want to bring that down. That looks good. Now we save this. So that we imagine that being bigger. Upload that guy. Pretty good. It needs to be a tad bigger though. So maybe we rip it on 36. And then just come back here. Signal. So that's the signals. There'll be an arrow coming here. So let me just make a layer, which is just like little edits. It's gonna be a black line. Make it a little bit bigger. So we got this arrow needed. This is just gonna be like a dotted line. As are all these. I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so signal comes in, brain computer interface, visual cortex. So for that, we might need to run it as, no. Okay, you might need to go 46. We just have to come down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And then center. So here will be like a computer, so we'll just draw that in. It's gonna be basically a drawing like this. That's the signal coming to the brain. I mean, okay, when it comes back, there's actually, right, like when this scene comes back, it actually goes here and then comes back. So this can maybe have like a extra border around it because it's really the key. But essentially, this process here is important because it's going off to like your local computer or even a bigger computer, and it's coming back. Then when it comes back, it's sending it back to your brain. So this loop here is important. It could be maybe this distance. Those two could be the same. Because the processing is not happening in your brain. You're thinking of something which in your head looks like this. This creates, which is a sequence. This creates a bunch of things that has a sequence that's like a similar match, right? So this, we'll have to write down the text there. But maybe there could be a little panel off this that says like what the percentage is of the match. We'll test that in a sec. But yeah, this will have a piece here. That will have a piece there. That has an outline around it. Okay, so this is like a scene. So I can just, for test, some sort of random place linked. Let's see if I have a screenshot of something. Yeah, we can take one of these. Let's just take this. Let's take this for instance. So ultimately, this thing here is coming down. It's kind of centered. You then take this, you just make a little outline around it, and just do that. And then I think we gave on this guy an opacity of 75, so throw a little bit of opacity on there. Okay, so that's what that'll look like. So this is actually look, it's a local server. Okay. So maybe this one doesn't have to go down as much as, say, this one, which goes down 3, and then this one goes down 2. So there's actually a variation. Okay. This is the scene being generated, which brings itself as a sequence into here, which comes down there. And this gets extended. And this is called, this is like a matching algorithm or pattern recognition algorithm. So that so what you're doing is you're bringing an algorithm here. So it has one input. That algorithm goes into the here, which actually, so this brings in a different algorithm, and if they match, then it goes this way. So there almost should be well, they always are gonna match, so it's just like, so no, then there's basically there's some brush lines here. So this is a two-way thing, and it goes like that. these are all two-way nodes. So all those are two-way nodes. Etc. What will happen here is we'll have signal. Okay, so then we have one of these comes across to here, and this is called visual imprint, something like that. Okay, then this simply comes over here. This is just a transform. Quite simply put. Okay, so then we have 4 of these. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We bring this guy down, attach, and then we can select all of these and do a vertical distribution. So basically you have your objects here, and then you have a rotation, or position, which is an X, Y, Z. Let's just keep it simple. It's a Euclidean position. This will be your rotation and scale. If we just take all those, make sure that they're all aligned this to the left, and throw them on. Something like that. We can also do the same with, make sure this guy, he should be vertically aligned that way. Okay. So here we got right aligned objects. They're going to be up a tad. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We get this one to go to its thing. We select them all. Do something like that. So this one basically, you have your meshes, you have your life, you have your environment. I might have this in the wrong order at the moment. Atmosphere, lights, something like that. You have ones. You just have something like this. You just do the same thing. And you just select them all. Left, distribute. So you have your meshes. Maybe that's a transform, so that's okay. I think that these actually get titles like this. Yeah. So, and they get called like meshes, life, environment, atmosphere, lights, something like that. So they all get extended. So I'll just do an edit for them on my edits layer. So they're all gonna get cut like this. And then obviously this is gonna get extended, and that's for all of these. Okay. Then we have all their inputs, which are, again, 2 ways. And if we come here, they all come in. This is like where you have like static meshes. You have like your materials. You have your movable dynamic meshes, I'll call them. You have your physics, right? All of these things have a center. They're centered and distributed. So it's kind of like this. They need to be that size. So I think for the circles, we scale them by 1.5 times and scale them twice times 2 in the other direction for all those nodes. And then the transform node as an edit could be something like this. Sort of like the same as same node. Okay, now we got this process here is just a dotted line in the end. Okay, this pattern recognition, right? I think it's fine as it is. It could probably be improved, but I think this is the idea. Okay. Let me just update this now. But essentially we'll have a clean drawing like this. We'll use color carefully. Each of these things here could be like a different view of the space. Maybe I could take a specific scene, right? And then these are all things like this, but then and maybe I'll just like it'd be like, okay, static mesh looks like this, and you can get it from scanning, environment, modeling it yourself, like whatever, and it can get hosted on these websites, etc. But this will be the main dot thing here pieces, and then that makes quite a nice formula. something like this node here maybe looks a bit weird. Should there be a line? Yeah, there could just be like a line like this. It's a merge. So yeah, there's just like one of these guys coming down here. Basically, this is just a merge. These are like transforming everything and placing it in the space. Okay, so that will look better then. And then I have this kind of drawing as well, which is quite technical. Yeah, and I really like this like way more now. I think this is exactly what I'm trying to explain. And that's not a good way of explaining it, but this is a way better way. So yeah, okay. Save this, save this. Saved. We're all good here. Alright. So save that and close this. I'll open up our InDesign and just like have this as a reference. Alright, whatever. So have some water, check my phone. Been crushing coffee lately. Alright, so here's my drawing as it is. And so we just gotta go through here and make our changes. So, I mean, easy one, that's not gonna be there anymore. Neither are any of these arrows. Could save that. Now, this thing here, we have to ungroup it for a sec. We do have to scale it, what did we say? Twice this direction. Oops, just this direction. And then 1.5 times this direction. Now we have to move it from the center to its center there. And then we just have to go in and trim those little guys. Let's just see, are we these little, yeah, so we'll have to fix we'll move that guy. He's gonna be down here now. Trim. Okay, and we'll have to copy this and split her with this and this. We'll have to select this curve and delete it, and that curve and delete it, and then select this curve and join them. Same with this. We'll join those, and then we'll have to move this guy down there. All right, that all looks good. This is all good still. Basically, we can just take all of these, hit align to right, and then choose that, so they'll all move over. We then have to go through and delete all of those, including that. We'll then select those, group them, and then just do a copy from there to all of these points. Ooh, we're getting tight. Now it kind of looks a little odd with them so close together, but it's fine. What else do we have here? So we got dotted lines done, two-way arrows. What does a two-way arrow look like? Like this? Yeah, I think that's good. Just a little tedious, but it's okay. Okay, we got our two-way arrows functioning now. What else do we need to do? So we got, these all need to become half versions of themselves. Which potentially end up looking like this. So I think the trick is to make a rectangle, move that rectangle to, just move it to this point. It fits in like this. You then have to create another rectangle that goes from here to here, and you create a line that goes from there to there. Move that line somewhere around here. You take this curve that was our original one, and you just select that segment of it, and you move it from there to an intersection. Delete that rectangle, and then you can delete this one and this one. Actually, you leave this guy. You basically have to take that curve segment and that curve segment and do a move that goes from there to there. You can now delete this. You then have to take this. You have to take that, do an ungroup, select this point, and that object itself. Bring this across to intersect. Alright, and then we'll just replace the arrows at the end. Because basically all of these get deleted. Except, actually they all get ungrouped. But only this half gets deleted. Now, these all do get deleted, but this becomes a group. All right, it doesn't become a group yet, but we just copy it, and we copy it from, I guess you can go from the top of each of these. Okay. So take our little Bezier curves. If I rebuild that with 4 points, what does it do? Does it get smoothed out? Let's leave it. Okay. You just gotta copy these guys from their center, from their midpoint, and go on this curve and just find their mids. Mid. Mid. Okay. Then we just select them, rotate them from there to their intersect. Like that. Okay, so we got save, double arrows, and we fixed their look and appearance. I guess we can do this now, where we take this curve segment, we take this, we scale it by 2, and we move it down to its midpoint, like so. No. Okay, wait. I think the best way to do this is take it and just move it like so. And then delete. No. Okay, well, actually, we'll just go through all of these frames and lock them. Okay, they're all locked now. Move that from there to there. Okay, so all of these get moved. Go do an unlock. And then just, I guess, do a move from there to there. Like so. Now by doing that, we open up some space. Right? We can move something like this from here to there. Then we can do distribute on the Y. Actually, we can do you can even move that down and distribute. Yeah, I thought that wouldn't work. We do a distribute on the Y, and then we have to just move these points. So that's all good. Gives us some more space. Like if we move that guy down here, and we do a distribute along the Y. Yeah, helps a little bit. These ones can get deleted. All I have to do is fix this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. Distribute along the Y. Alright. Okay, that's all good. Now I have to go through and fix these dots. That one's always good. It's just these. Like, okay, last little round of these. Okay, now we have to go fix all these guys. So we basically take them. We turn off the intercept for a sec. We find the curved middles. Okay, those. Oh, one more. There we go. Okay, so I think this is the only one that seems a bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit more. Yeah, it's better. That looks right. That looks alright. Maybe this one seems a bit off. There we go. Potentially I can group, like say something like this. I group it, group it, group it, group it. Can I select that, 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 and do an align and say line vertical centers and choose like, there we go. And then I have to go through and do a rotate. Throw back intersection. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna do the same thing here where I do groups. Group, 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 group. just gotta go through and do the rotates. Never be perfect, but I do have to just make sure that they're close enough. Some from one more. From far away, they just need to be good enough. Oh, I gotta turn this white background off. It's killing my eyes. Display. Oh, are we in rendered mode? Oh, that's so much better. Okay, that's good. Essentially, what I'll do is take these two things and mirror them around the center of this. No, where would the center be? Oh, fuck. Okay, this is though just itself. That should just be okay. Actually, what I'll do. Okay, can we group these? Group that. Group that. Group that. Group that. Group that. That. Group that. Group that. Same with this. Group. 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 Okay, so we're just taking these two things. Hopefully, just mirroring them on there. All right. I feel like all of these should be scaled by 2. No, just leave it. It's fine. Alright. What else? There's a line that should go down the center of this. We just can skip. Perfect. I'm gonna do an ungroup on that guy. Selecting that, and that, and do group. Okay, save this. The transform gets ungrouped. What do we call this? Text node. I guess all of these are in text nodes as well. So what we do is, I guess, once we're in text node, we just draw a rectangle. Move it here, and then I guess we can move it from its not center, but from its mid to this mid, and then from this mid to that mid and back down. Okay. And then from there we move it down that much. Okay, so that's becomes a group. Okay. How much does that go down to? You can just maybe move this down like that. And then if we take that curve segment and move it down like that. There you go. All right. Same with this one. Like so. We can just use a trim on that. Okay. That one comes down by 2. So we just take this and move it down by double its size. Oops. I know everything else stays the same, I guess. Oh. Like that. Okay. That's the image one. This one needs to come down by 2 as well. We can just take that and trim here. Now, this piece should come in line with that, and then all these points should get moved to the center of there. Alright, like so. Then we have to add this thing above. Essentially what we could do is just, okay, we can group this. Take that, mirror it. It's anywhere. Okay, just move it so that this piece is coming from there. And then this piece is coming out of here. Alright. This is a height we want. We have to add this much height. To make it equal. So we just take, you can ungroup these now. Okay, we just take these points, do a move so that they're all up here. Same with these ones. Okay. Then there's a line that goes from here to here. This all gets put in the curved connector, and then these get joined. Okay. Maybe. This just comes up into becoming half the size. Okay. Can we group it and move? Like so. Alright. What else? That'll become dotted with the 2 arrows. Oh, we need double arrows. So what we do is we mirror. Yeah, we just group that. Okay. This one down here needs a double arrow. So we mirror that there. And we do a move. Something like that. We wanna just leave it. Alright, arrow, double arrow between these two. Okay, we can group that. One-way arrow here. Copy to the mid. Shoot the mid. Okay, we can group that. And group that. Alright. Yo. Okay, we just want to make sure that these are the same length. So we just take all that, scale 1D, from there to there, from there to there to there. Delete that. We draw a big old line up here, from there to there. We select everything. We move it from the center of here to the center of here and back down, and then delete. Gangstar. Alright, so if I hide the frame for a sec and I just go like this and I go view capture file and I just say final track drawing new and replace it. If I go into my Photoshop, if I save my Photoshop and I go to this and I click update all modified content after unlocking it. Okay. Okay, just go back here, blind my eyes for a sec. grid. You can show grid. Let's do that. Okay. Just for this test, we kind of scale her up so it's more like where we were before. And I think it'll be good now. I mean, we could pretty much take the vises stuff is all good. You can say these are all. Oh, we can group those and say caption. These are images. Papers on top. You can hide our edits layer, and then we can put here. Take out a caption. We gotta unlock that layer. Group that and call it effects. Like this. Edits. Save. Go to our images. Are they all open? Good. Test head. Move them over a bit. Something like that. Those all get moved. Those all get moved. Okay, we have to make that bigger. That'll get moved. Something like this. That'll come down. All these will get. And like that. These all get like that. All those will get moved down. Okay. Fuck. Okay, that part has to get switched, and this has to come 3 times larger. Alright. So this one becomes moving from there to there, and then from there to there again, and then that comes down. That's all that one. That goes from there to there, and from there to there. Saved. Okay, that's all that. This is all gangsta. Yeah, it's this shit. Okay, so ungroup. Can I mirror this? Like so. And just do an ungroup. Okay, no. I just mirror this like this, and then I delete this one, and I move this one from there to there. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, I take all of this and I mirror it here to here. Then I take that and I move it from there to there. Okay. So I guess I take the whole thing, mirror it here to here. Then I take all of these, I delete it, and I move that from there to there. Okay, that's how we do it. Mirror. delete it, and then just come back. Group that. Oh god, no. Delete, 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 delete. That has to become a group. I'll mirror it here. Then this will get selected, moved from there to there, like so. Saved. Alright. View capture file. That can get updated. Okay, this comes down. Okay. This comes here. Saved. Maybe. Saved. Alright. It'll be something like that. That'll move across. Okay, save this. Come here. Alright. Do I like it? Okay, we need the two nodes on top of the visual imprint and local server things. And I think I'll make a little tiny node on top of the pattern recognition algorithm. No, just leave it. Just make the little nodes on top of these ones. So just create a little blue circle, go into this kind of thing. And I'll just move that from this center to this center, and then I'll trim that with that, and then take that, copy it from there to there, group, group. Okay, we got it. Alright, save that. It gets updated, and then so does this one. Oh, I put that node in the wrong place. So it gets put from there to there. This all gets grouped again. This becomes red. Ungroup that, and then we select that and we group it, and then this we trim like so. Oh, these need little nodes too, so we got ungroup that guy. Okay, so this trim, ungroup, select that, mirror. I'll just do that. down here, and then we'll trim. Save that. I'm gonna move copy one of him to down to here. And this one's gonna trim here. This is gonna get ungrouped. That's gonna get grouped. Effect node. Select everything here. Yeah, this is gonna be my movie node. Okay. There we go. I think it's a nice clean diagram. Save. I'll do the final one of these. Oh, gotta Photoshop first. Save. Come here. Yep, that looks good to me. Obviously what will end up happening is it'll appear smaller. Even like with all of these captions, the edits, we could say that this right here is the image or the content. And if we do a transform, there we go. Select everything and bring it into the center like so. That's better. Save that. Okay, and then we can hide the edits. There we go. So I'll have the computer showing on that little piece, and then all my little texts. But yeah, I think that's a good graphic. Alright. Honestly, these sketches are gonna get shown probably, but not like as real drawings. And that one's most important. And that, so what I can do is get rid of some of these pages. Right? Get rid of that one. This one. This one. I'll just imagine there's still sketches, and then this, I think I want to show this as two images in the end. Like one of the city on the rotated 90 degrees, and then show them back to back. Then it become maybe I'll show like a VR diagram or something. I don't know. I can fill in between my drawings with like images of just like on the computer. Sort of like this kind of thing. And then I'll explain like, okay, well, here's a memory. And then from there I can show my film. Then this is like the excerpt. So I'll do that excerpt drawing tonight. And then this is like explaining a transition. Maybe I finish with the film though. So maybe. So then this, which I wish I had more time to do more of these drawings. And then the film. I don't even need to show the excerpt, I don't think. Because I'll end up showing the whole film. So something like, and I'll have my process documents before this. So yeah, okay. Alright, I'm gonna take a break, finish that stream, because that's the basis of that drawing, and then tomorrow I'll run through my presentation quick, because I'll upload a version of it without the film, and then just work on the film until Saturday.